DreamHack Open is brought to you by Corsair, Monster Energy, Nice Cactus, and GGBet.
Counter-Strike in full effect here in Jönköping, Sweden. We welcome you guys back to DreamHack Open Winter 2019, where we are 3 maps deep and still 3 more to go. But the final opening matchup is what we have next for you guys. Of course, that being CR4ZY versus GODSENT. My name, Connor Gervin, joined by Mathieu and Christine here on the desk. I'm excited to have you guys back because, to me, this is the most exciting opening match of the day.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. I think it's fair to say we have 2 teams on the up and up right now, feeling good, and that usually takes that to have a great game of Counter-Strike.
For sure, and I mean, CR4ZY have got to be feeling a little bit salty since they got knocked out in the semifinals in Atlanta versus Sprout. And one thing I'm very much looking forward to is the vetoes actually in this best of 1. I think CR4ZY have kind of suffered from having a shallow map pool.
Yeah.
I think in an interview in Rotterdam, they even mentioned that they can't believe they won the event with just 3 solid maps under their belt. So they are certainly a newer team with Ships coming in and with their coach, Emmy, becoming a full-time player now. It's certainly taking a little bit longer for them to be comfortable on more maps.
Yeah, sure. So let's take a quick little overview of Group B just to see how things have panned out and what we will have coming up as well. Group B, having started off earlier today with Heroic versus SJ, the only real upset, I would say, thus far, the Finns beating Heroic, who you just mentioned CR4ZY getting knocked out of Atlanta. Well, that's the event Heroic won, you know, just a couple weeks ago. So this one, a big upset. And now CR4ZY and GODSENT, they're matching up. That's got to be a tantalizing game later today. You're thinking SJ in a BO1 for a ticket to the Sunday? Or
Heroic in the best of 3 to stay alive.
Ooh.
Which one do you prefer? You want to play SJ in a best of 1 to qualify to the playoff, or you want to save your life in best of 3 versus one of the best team in the tournament?
Yeah. It's a scary one.
There's a lot riding on that game for sure.
And I think, you know, normally I would be far further into the CR4ZY camp if it weren't for that Atlanta upset where they saw some problems due to a shorter map pool. And then also the fact that GODSENT are coming off of an event 1 at kind of this caliber of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. And if you consider CR4ZY, let's be honest, losing Nexa and Hunter was a big blow. It's really hard for them. They lost 2 of their main carry, probably the ones who were really the engines of the team, right? But I think the way they bounced back is pretty impressive. I think Ships is an amazing recruitment. Ships was already extremely good in his previous teams. He just obviously was limited by what the team could do, right? Now, Emmy, honestly, okay, let's put it this way. Romantically speaking, I think it's beautiful. He's a coach, he goes back to playing, he does decently, that is fine. Now, I think there's going to be an issue on the long run with Emmy and Netny, both, I think, being limited individually in what they can bring to the team.
Sure.
And if you have one, but he compensates with experience, with like helping out the others, sure, cool. But I think they're going to need that 4th man, that 4th player. That's going to be an issue.
They will, but you know, I think Nexa and Hunter's departure was almost a blessing in disguise for this CR4ZY lineup. Esperanto has been a player that's been a little bit more quiet, especially when Hunter and Nexa were in the server with him. They were such loud players in that server, so Esperanto was a little bit more quiet. Since their departure, it's been all about the Esperanto show, with Ships coming in and just showing his mechanical prowess. But Esperanto has been the man behind this CR4ZY lineup success, for sure.
Right, and previously to Hunter and Nexa being on the team, when you know that half of CR4ZY was, I think, Imperial, before they brought in the guys from Valiance and Co. Like, that was the Esperanto show. You know, he was the MVP of DreamHack Summer 2018, the first event that he was able to win, coming off of an awful showing just one event prior to that. So we had kind of missed Esperanto as we saw CR4ZY get better because of, again, Hunter and Nexa's impact. It was incredible to see, but now he's back, and he's very much back in a purposeful manner. We had a great discussion with the coach, Neil M, and Emmy, coach turned IGL, about Esperanto and whether or not they were trying to set him up for success, having been given more space. And they said very clearly, we've got 2 stars on this lineup, that's Espy and that's Ships, and we want them to succeed. We saw that in Rotterdam, we saw it falter in Atlanta, and now the big question coming into this BO1 is, are they back? So let's see where they head. Map Veto, coming at you guys hot.
So where do you see that video? Do you have a map in mind that could be ended up, or is there some way they can surprise each other?
I think Inferno or Dust2 is probably going to be the two maps that we're going to be seeing here. I know we've been seeing Nuke and Overpass a lot, but yeah, it's going to be Dust2.
The last two maps being Inferno and Dust2.
Cool. I'm down with that one.
Who does it favor? I mean, if we're talking about individual, I do believe Crazy have to be.
I gotta stay Crazy.
I gotta stay Crazy as well.
They have to be satisfied with that veto, obviously. Now, if you switch over to GODSENT, it is true they did go to an event not dropping a single map, winning it, which is pretty cool. I mean, you always want that for your team. They win the We Play Photograph Master without dropping a single map. And there is a name in the lineup, but I mean, we can keep it for after that.
Yeah, let's start with Crazy, Matt.
We can keep it with Crazy, right?
Come to it.
There is a man that we haven't spoken of much, and I think Otton also deserves some credit. I think he's one of these, I would call them silent worker, right? We don't really talk about them too much, but they do what they have to do. He's efficient, maybe not flashy, maybe not triple kills left and right, but he's always good for one. I think his positioning is great. He plays a decent Counter-Strike. And yeah, as an AWP, it's so centric right now, Counter-Strike, that it feels good to have a player like that in your team.
And it's funny that you use the word flashy, because of all the offers, he's actually got really good stats in terms of utility support. He's throwing nades consistently. So flashy in more than one way. Christine?
Definitely so. And I mean, we just saw the man on your screen there, Ships. We've been talking about Ships just every event that he's been attending here for the past couple of months. And when I think about Dust2, I immediately think about Ships. I just remember back in Rotterdam when Ships was on that Dust2, he's just running around. He has no fear. He's a young player. He's unproven. So he doesn't have anything to lose. It's what we've been talking about. So when he gets in that server, specifically on Dust2, he is aggressive and he's able to punish the opponents and find a lot of openings.
We just previously in the agreement had this discussion about like when you have an up-and-coming star player who gets picked up by a bigger team, sometimes you see them kind of falter and like turtle shell up a bit.
Yeah.
You know, they're not able to keep that like in-your-face CS that they're used to playing on a lower caliber team. Well, I think his addition to Crazy doesn't stop him because they immediately put him into a position to succeed.
Yeah, you're right. I think there's two factors to it, right? On one hand, you have to have, if you're the new and up-and-coming player, you have to have the personality to assert yourself even in a different environment. That's the first one. But then the team can create the context for you to flourish, right? If you come in and you say, listen, we believe in you, I think you can do great things, so we're going to give you the roles, so tell us what you want to do, we're going to adapt, and we're going to make you feel comfortable. Or you say, hey, listen here, this is your spot, this is where you're going to play,
do it.
And I hope you do it well, otherwise you're out.
Yeah.
These are two different approaches you can have in newcomers, and I think the one of making sure they're comfortable when you have a talent like Ships is probably the one I would take.
Definitely so, and I mean, Ships is so proficient on the AWP, on the rifle. He's got a teammate in Esperanto who's just as efficient as he is, so they definitely have so many tools to work with.
Right, very versatile. So we give our praise to Crazy, but we also turn our attention to the other side of the stage, GODSENT. Making a comeback not just in an organization, but you can stay with a lot of these players. Stiko, it's been a while. Crystal, the same. And then you've got Michael Ellie in the mix, before even mentioning Madden and Zen.
Yeah. You know what GODSENT makes me think of? It makes me think of an end of the week, and I'm up in my fridge, and I have some food left, and I'm like, can I create something with that? How does that work? I'm going to put that together, and oh, hold on, that's actually pretty good. That's how I feel about this team. I would never have guessed these 5 players would end up together and be a competitive team, but somehow it worked. They haven't been together for too long, right? The beginning of September, I believe the Smash lineup was put together, and that they're having pretty good success, pretty good results. And I think so many phoenixes in that team. Michael coming from the depth of the nowhere, basically. Crystal as well with the second chance, and Stiko. Stiko, the man, for me, the man, the absolute man, who used to be a support, but always had the potential to be a star, in my opinion.
Sure enough, right? I loved watching Stiko on Hellraisers. One of the reasons that I fell in love with that team was just him individually, right? He's fun to watch, and I love the team play. So for him to get back into this mix, I think it's a good mix to be with. We talked about just briefly, you know, that old Imperial where we had, where we had Otto and Esperanto coming from. Remember, that team was originally led by Crystal, who's now back here with another mixed bag of teams, of players. We praised Hunden for his ability to build up rosters and to implement structure. Well, you've got to give that same props to a guy like Crystal.
Exactly. This is a team definitely with a lineup full of kind of misfits that kind of had come together to try to make things work. And you say second chance for Crystal. I think this is probably his like 4th or 5th chance. So he's certainly been around, and he's certainly tried to make a lot of his lineups and teams work out. And this lineup in particular, I'm glad that you mentioned Stiko, because this player brings so much value to the table. You mentioned that he used to be a support player. Well, now he's like the star of this team.
Right.
He's the player that all of his mates rely upon to bring the fragging game, to put the frags on the board and make it a little bit easier for this team.
I agree so much. I would tattoo that on my arm, what she just said. Right? Because I believe that when Stico was in Mouse Sports,
That's a big tattoo.
I just had to use very long and probably down
I know
my
you
leg
got
as
big
well,
guns, but
and in my back
you need a
and
lot of
everything.
space.
Yeah, I would need to hit the gym a little bit more. I do believe that when Stico was in Mouse Sports, he wasn't the support because he was the lowest skill. I think he was the only one who could handle that role and still do a good job.
Fair enough. Well, listen up, Twitch chat. Crystal's giving us thumbs up, and that means you got to get your thumbs busy. Get on those keyboards or whatever you're using, and give me a hashtag CRZY, crazy minus the A, or a hashtag God for the side of GODSENT. We're going to get your guys' predictions in there. If we're giving you guys the credit of being the hive mind, you've got 1 point. Twitch chat, you predicted the SJ upset, and I'll give you credit for that, maybe 1.5. But let's get another proper prediction in. And before we go back to those results, I'll be sure to see what the experts have to say.
Are we the expert?
In my opinion.
Is that okay? No. Oh, okay.
All
That's
very
good. We still have
subjective.
the expert, right?
Yeah,
Maybe he's talking about someone else, making a compliment. I'm not going to take that one too fast.
Odds here are skewed towards the side of GODSENT. Do either of you agree?
I would disagree with that.
Fair, I would too.
Not by large margin, but I would not put GODSENT in such a favorite position. I think it downplays how comfortable Crazy are right now, and the fact that they just came from a semi-final, also won a win in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be so harsh on Crazy.
I definitely wouldn't either. I think any time that I've vetoed or predicted against Crazy, they've just consistently surprised, consistently shown up in the server. So yeah, that is a bit surprising, but it's Twitch chat, you know?
Yeah, and I can. No, that one's actually our sponsor.
Who gave me a crazy prediction?
Whoa!
Oh,
Okay,
what is happening?
well, all right.
I would stand by it. It's like they take me by surprise, but I'll stand by it. I would have said Crazy.
I like that they let off the gas pedal because they're like, listen, Scrawny's nuts. You don't know what he's going to say. But I'm going to throw this one over to the Crazy side, too. I'm not getting weird just yet. I think that while we have to give GODSENT credit in terms of current form, they did win that event without dropping a single map. But if I'm not mistaken, it was Crazy who did nearly the same thing in Rotterdam. They had an incredible showing there, and that wasn't too long ago. Sure, we have Atlanta in between, but I know what Crazy are capable of, and I personally feel like they chew through teams like GODSENT. You know, if it was them versus Forz, or if it was them versus a Furia, then I'm a little bit less convinced. But I think GODSENT are going to be confident, and Crazy are going to remind them why they shouldn't be.
Exactly, and it's on Dust2. It's absolutely a comfort pick for Crazy.
Yep.
I mentioned it before, I have to mention it again. As we progress throughout the tournament, it's just going to get more and more difficult for Crazy, though, because although they did win in Rotterdam, in Atlanta, the map pool, the small map pool was such a detriment for Crazy.
Yep, so in terms of BO3s, you're right. Maybe we get a little less convinced by them, but Twitch chat, let's see where your head stands, and that's going to be on the side of GODSENT. 77 to 23%. I'll keep you guys written down for that. So
just wondering if I'm ever going to agree with the chat, because I think I'm.
It rarely happens.
To be fair, this is one instance where we have Twitch chat siding with as our official odds as well. You know, so it's like technically, if we're following regular odds,
GODSENT being somewhat of a Swedish organization, do we think it plays a role here? GODSENT, you know,
could very well be
famously a Swedish roster. Michael Ellie as well, swaying the odds a little bit here.
I could see it.
You might be onto something. Picking the brains of the people voting right now.
The individuals in this server on the GODSENT side are absolutely capable of bringing in that upset as well.
Yeah, hashtag God, right?
God.
It's just all too easy. But listen, we've got a couple fresh faces to introduce you to. We got rid of the goons and Harry and Hugo, and now we welcome Mr. Tom Bismeyer and Big Pimp. Hey guys.
Big Pimp. Do
you
like that name? Do you like it?
Yeah, I can work with it.
You're digging it?
Yeah.
You're getting bigger. I can definitely see
I'm getting
bigger.
big, you know
and I am in a different way. But yeah, I think we've actually got a conspiracy on the desk, because I look at the Crazy logo and I see something that looks a little bit like a Swiss flag.
Okay.
And I only see one man in maybe the whole of Counter-Strike who's actually Swiss. So
what are you implying here?
Maybe there's some bias from Maniac, you know? Like, his prediction came up before he even said anything. It's like they knew he was going to go that way.
That is true. You know what? I'm very excited about the fact that we get to hear what Scrawny feels, right? He feels that Crazy is a great team. He feels a lot of stuff, that guy, and it's just great to hear.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of feelings, or is it all just mechanical? And
I don't feel so much, to be honest. I'm a very cynical kind of guy.
So we're not going to have some sort of connection while we're working together, you know? Like,
I don't think
come
so.
out of this as best friends.
Don't put your money on it.
Oh, okay.
Try to bear over with me. Try to enjoy the game of Counter-Strike, and we'll have some fun.
Okay, so my dreams are shattered, but anyway, we are going to be going forward. So we've had some of the analysts, but you know, I know what your normal job is, where you like to be standing over there on the desk. Although I think you are enjoying the fact that your days are a little bit shorter while you're here as the
That is absolutely the best part.
But if you were going to be looking at this, like the desk is lent towards CR4ZY, are you in a similar boat, or are you looking more towards GODSENT?
I think we're looking at a very competitive game. I think we're looking at two teams right now who has a lot to offer on the server. I definitely buy the sentiment that CR4ZY, in my head, are the favorites, also considering the map. They have shown over a longer period that they are a great team. They are great players. They have a lot of assets to the lineup, and they have that X factor in Esperanto. Whereas for GODSENT, yes, it did look great last weekend, but let's see if they can replicate that success.
Well, we are going to be going right into our pistol round. Some early B presence, at least, taken by the T side. But it seems like, at least for the initial start to the round, they've gone into a bit more of a default.
Sure does, and Stuko is not afraid of taking the duel here, bought the P250, and they're going to try to seek these duels out in the beginning, see if they can get an opening before it looks like they are going to head towards this B bomb site. Letney in a great position here. We know that he's going to be tough to kill with a Glock.
Oh, sat back waiting, ready to push, makes his way forward. He does manage it first, and now the rotation's already managing to come in. This is going to be a tough take from here on out. Letney just absolutely shutting things down, and while that P250 thus far has done nothing, in fact, it will achieve absolutely nothing. 1 versus 4, sat in the corner, an ace needed. It's not happening.
That is lovely to see, right? And Letney, he played that position to perfection, right? He was sitting in the corner. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He had a mate to back him up as well, and he stayed alive for a long, long period, and he hit the shots as well. Great start for CR4ZY, great start for Letney, and that's a guy that I think a lot of players and a lot of people right now are maybe sleeping on a little bit.
Yeah.
When you look at this CR4ZY lineup, you look towards him and you think he may be one of the weak factors of this lineup, but I think he's playing well as of late, and I think he's a great asset to the lineup as well. And I think this play right here was a great showcase of why that is.
Yeah, I think he was definitely someone missing when we were in Atlanta. Like, although I don't think Thomas came in and did a bad job by any stretch, he was literally thrown in at the very last second. I know that Letney works well with Emmy. They've worked together for a long, long time within the last few rosters they've been in. So I think he was definitely a piece of the puzzle that was missing there. And when it came to like things going wrong versus Sprout, that was where you kind of go, okay, you need someone to step up, someone to move forward. And being that I do put at least Esperanto in that sort of list of emotional players. Like,
definitely agree
if he's
with that.
confident, he's the scariest player in the server. If he's not, he goes missing.
Exactly. That's a great point to make here, as we see Stuko is seeking a duel towards long. It's not going to happen. I like this buy from GODSENT. That shows a lot of confidence in own abilities. They bought up fully. They have 1 scout on Michael Lillard, then 4 deagles and a few grenades here, and they're going to try to exploit this A bomb site. It's going to be Esperanto. You just talked about him. A player with a lot of confidence. Seems like he spotted the guy in CT spawn. He's going to be willing to take the duel. They are positioned well right here for what's coming in for them. Esperanto hitting that headshot with the FAMAS. And by the looks of it, it seems rough for GODSENT here. They're out of nades, they're out of HP, and their man down.
Yeah, and the problem was he was the surprise. Like, he was supposed to cut off rotations, but okay, out of nowhere, 2 D kills. Luckily, Ships is there to clean up some of the mess and leave the remaining 2 players very low on HP and low on time. 25 seconds left. They're going to go rotating right back into Letney, and even if they do get anywhere near the site, Emmy is still waiting, but he only has an MP9. Yeah,
they're in between a rock and a hard place here. Both players coming in from 2 different directions. Low HP on both Madden and Sen. Bomb goes down though. Letney is slowly but surely walking up towards Catwalk. Emmy is playing it safe here. We need to see Letney take the first duel, see if he can get a kill. And he misses the opportunity here, down on 29 HP. It doesn't matter though. Emmy picks up 2 kills, and there we go. CR4ZY off to a great start. That was a little bit more rough than initially I would have imagined, but there was some crispy headshots coming out from the deagles of GODSENT.
Yeah, no, some great early shots from them. Also, it worried me the positions of the 2 weapons. Like, how the MP9 gets both of those kills from long. When he didn't even push forward. He was still just sat at the back of long, just tapping away with that MP9. Surprisingly accurate, I find.
That is a powerful gun, especially if you're facing opponents with low HP, which was the case in this scenario. For GODSENT, they got the bomb plan down. There was actually, a real opportunity for them to win this round. So I think they can be fairly satisfied with the outcome of this one. Obviously, for CR4ZY, it's all about winning these second rounds. It's all about converting, getting off to a good start. The problem for them is they lost a lot of guns in this round. They only survived 1 guy, or 2 guys, sorry. So that's gonna tear a little bit on the money, which can be a problem moving on to the game.
I wonder if this is a tactical or technical, because if this is a tactical, I wonder if it might be due to GODSENT actually talking about whether or not they buy, because although their money's not really in the best of positions, obviously we've seen the Galil go down in price recently. They did so much damage in the last round, and I feel like Dust2, like, you might disagree, but I feel like it's the most momentum-based map in the game. Like, if you get properly rolling, you have all the spawns, you're hitting your shots, you really can win off of that. So if they can crush CR4ZY very early, could change the map.
I would definitely agree. It's a high-risk, high-reward play if you were to go for a buy here. I doubt this is a tactical timeout. I would say that's a little bit too early, right? Normally teams come into games and they have a clear game plan for how it's going to pan out the first 4 or 5 rounds, you know, depending whether they win the pistol round or not. So I think this is more of a technical issue, and we're back live in the game here. They did decide to put an AK-47 on Madden. That's it. So all players are saving, all players are managing their economy besides Madden. Problem is, or question is, rather, is that on purpose or was that a misbuy?
I'd be surprised if he took that long to miss by.
That's true. That's true. Well,
if he was sat there for 20 seconds
you'd
and
be
then went
surprised what Counter-Strike players does sometimes.
F3, but this looks like the simple play. Like,
Okay.
Okay, let's give our star player, like one of the younger players within the roster, the chance to actually like do something in this round.
I mean, I love this signal that's sending, right? They also bought up in the first round after losing the pistol, so they really do believe in own abilities. Question is if they can pull it off.
Well, it's one of their most played maps, so I think both teams go into this. This does definitely look like the middle ground of this matchup.
Sure.
It does still worry me, though. Like, I don't feel like there's anybody on GODSENT who can match up to Esperanto and Ships. Like, if they have a good game, I don't think there's much that the opposition can do.
I would agree. It has to come from the team itself. It has to come from the team play. We see an A-hit here coming in, though. Smokes, flashes flying in. Otto making sure that he's back up for his teammate. Esperanto peeking up, can't really find the kill, can't really find an opponent. Gets the first one, though. Otto gets the second one. Madden responding back with the AK-47. They're in a comfortable position, though, the retake scenario, 4 against 3. They have plenty of nades left. Otto finds another kill, and here we go. It's going to be tough for GODSENT to hold on.
Yeah, this is all about damage now, though. They've made that money back. They've got the lost bonus. They made it with the chance, but Emmy's actually going to get that final kill, and, well, it is done. They only lose 1 player. They make a little bit of extra money, and they can retrieve that AK as well, which is a huge upgrade from what is a Mag 7.
Yeah, exactly, and I love the fact that you said it. They survived 4 players. Very, very important for them. Very important to build up an economy. Very important to build up a cushion where they can... Well, basically, they can make sure that they can lose a round or 2 and still have money to buy in and still make sure that they can be competitive in the rounds, right? Because as you said before, there's the opportunity for GODSENT to go for the cheap buys, the Galils and all that kind of stuff. So you need money at all times if you want to make the rounds competitive on the CT side. So it is highly, highly important that you do survive as many people as possible.
Well, for the first time, we do finally have the buy. I'm guessing the SG meta hasn't gone by what we're looking at right now.
Why would it?
You know, the
That's
price,
a lovely gun.
The price changed a little bit. That should have made a massive difference.
Well, the gun didn't change, did it?
$300. That's all it changed. But yeah, they're still going to be using it, and it's not really that much of a surprise at all. Patiently waiting to see if they can catch anyone off with some early picks. And while they have spotted the head, I'm not really sure how that doesn't connect, and it's a little bit lucky that Letney's going to be surviving. But if they can't clear him, they'll have the same problems as the pistol.
Yeah, that looked a little bit odd. They had a good idea of what they wanted to do here. Now we see why that SG is being bought up by Sen. Great pick onto Letney, and this opens up the round for GODSENT. They still have a minute to play with. They can still rotate around the map and make sure not to make any mistakes, not to do anything hesitated. That's exactly what they're doing right now. Taking map control, making sure they have a clear idea of what they want to do. This catwalk here against Otto, that's going to be important. He's going to be caught out in the middle here, and he's going to go down to Madden. That's great play once again from GODSENT. Ships going down to Crystal, and it's all falling apart from CR4ZY. Great opening from GODSENT. I like the fact they took out the pace. Now it's up to Esperanto to see if he can do anything about this.
Well, this is the man you'd want, and actually a missed shot gives them a chance. Down to 2 HP and 36, and, well, Emmy, he may just have to save here. Like, 3 of the players can actually look for a purchase into the next round, but Otto has absolutely nothing, so a little bit of damage would be nice, but CR4ZY don't really have much of a say within this round, and he's not going to be able to kill off Stiko, even with the drop on him. So good round from GODSENT. I think the main thing to point out there is the first 2 picks they get is purely based off utility. Like the Molotov forced out Letney, the same with Otto, he was forced back, and they knew exactly when they were going to peak afterwards as well. So it definitely seems like structure-wise, GODSENT are in good form.
And I will definitely agree with that, and I think that's a very important thing to notice in this game. As you said before, individually speaking, I don't think they match up against Crazy. So if they want to win this game and they want to control the game, basically, it has to come off the fact that they are a better team, they are a more structured unit. So far, so good for GODSENT. Great response back. 3-1 is the scoreline. We see Madden here. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now, walking out middle, all by himself, almost catching off Ledney. Not quite hitting the shots, and he falls back after smoking off CT spawn. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now. You can see that the GODSENT, they really do believe in own abilities, and I think that's a very important signal for them to send as well. Don't let Crazy feel comfortable. Don't let them feel that we got this one in our hands. Challenge them as much as you can.
This round, at least, we talk about how the structure is what GODSENT has an advantage. Well, there's not much else an advantage for Crazy in this round. They've just got pure rifles. Utility is at a bare minimum. There's no kit, so if the bomb goes down, they're going to really struggle in these after-plant positions. And Emmy, I feel like he almost has to get 2 here. Switches away. He has a chance. Again, it's Sticko to turn back at the right time, get an important trade. And while in a 4v4 situation, especially with the current weaponry, you still put this in GODSENT's favor.
Surely you would. It seems like they have a good read of what's going on, though. In the Crazy camp, they have 3 guys over towards this A bomb site now. One guy is obviously locked down in CT spawn. He's not going to be much of a help. Crystal is being caught off guard completely, and he's going down to Otto. That's an SG out of the way, taken down by a P250, and now they have to pick up the pace. GODSENT, 25 seconds left. It is Sticko trying to find the kills here. Makelele hitting a nice shot with AWP.
Yeah, 2 quick kills coming back in their favor. Esperanto is hiding within the site. Goes for the peak. They still don't know. He's here for Sticko again. Instant return and leaves Otto alone. No Kevlar as well, so he definitely can't get through that Molotov without dying. And while Makelele is not even going to give him the chance. A second round for GODSENT. Again, a little bit of a dicey one, but it works out in the end.
Yeah, it sure does, and that was actually some solid counter-strike from GODSENT, and especially Makelele hitting that shot down towards CT spawn that really span their out into their own favor once again. I think GODSENT have already by now shown that their T side is structured. They have an idea of how they want to attack the bomb sides. They have an idea of how they want to play off and with each other in terms of the trade frag potential and all that kind of stuff. So that is definitely some healthy signs going into this first half of the game between GODSENT and Crazy. We do seem to have another technical problem, I believe. So I guess we can talk a little, Tom.
Well, a question I would ask you, actually, as someone who's obviously like played on different teams, moved around, been like picked up, maybe kicked, I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
If you are Crystal, right, and you in the past basically got kicked because of the decisions of Esperanto, like I think the basic thing that was said that he said, I don't want to play with him, so you have a choice.
Yeah.
Do you go into this game as Crystal going, this is a must-win. I want to show this kid who I am. I want to show him that I'm the best. Or do you just go in and go, it's just another match?
Well, I can't speak for Crystal, but I can tell you a story that I once were playing for a great Danish team called Team Dignitas. Me and MSL, we were great buddies, but stuff happened, let's put it that way, and I was no longer welcome inside the team. I then joined up with SK Gaming, which was by the time the 3rd best Danish team, and we had a lot of matches against Dignitas, and I tell you that I'm not kidding you when I said that if I knew we had a game against Dignitas, let's say 7 p.m. during the night, I would sit and play deathmatch from 12 a.m., you know, just warming up for 5 or 6 hours, because I would definitely make sure to make a point that MSL should never, ever have kicked me for that lineup. And I hope it's the same for Crystal. I hope he has that fire inside him. That's the way it should be. There should be some rivalries going on, and I think that's the case as well. Otherwise, I will always or almost go out the limb and say he may not, you know, have that winning mentality that you need in order to make it to the top. So I hope that's the case for Crystal, but of course we can potentially ask him after the game and see if that's the case.
I think the other thing as well, though, is like if you're a player within a roster, it might be a little bit different to if you're the in-game leader in a roster.
Sure.
Because if he goes in like, and I have a vendetta, blah, 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 and then like doesn't call in the... Because he has to be the calm one, if anything. He has to be calling in the moment. So it might be a better thing if he doesn't come in with that sort of like he should have prepped as much, obviously, but not going like, I have to beat this kid because he got me kicked. Like, I feel like that might not be the best. I think the other way around, it probably is there as well, because I remember like early on in Esperanto's career, there was the whole thing with like Fox, where he was, I think he said something along the lines of like, I don't think he's good enough or whatever, and had a load of response on Twitter, and then later that day absolutely smashed him in the match and just went, see? And that's something I've always rated him for, is like, he definitely backs up the trash talk. He doesn't do it as much anymore, though. You'll never see him in an interview, which, when you got Neil M, I think that's fair enough.
But you love to see that, right? It's the same case with Config when he was actually a great player, right? He always backed it up with great performances. So more of that, I definitely do like it. And we do see GODSENT taking control of this one. Madden, again, very aggressive in the way he plays, and he's actually all by himself here on long, just picking off the players one by one. You can see how much confidence this kid is playing with right now. He just goes for the duels, and he wins them out. I wouldn't necessarily agree that was a great idea, just walking out by an AK with yourself. There was no trade frag potential. He actually could have went down without, being revenged. So maybe not the smartest thing to do, but if you're feeling confident and if you're in that state of mind where you feel you're just gonna kill everyone you see, then you may as well go for it. And I think that's a healthy sign as well for Madden and not only him but also GODSENT as a whole.
Yeah, it is a case though that in like rosters in the past, like a lot of the time you have like a heavily structured team and then one player who he's not in the structure.
Yeah.
It's like his role is almost to not be a role.
Exactly.
Like you do what you want, you be aggressive, we'll set you up for these plays. And if you look at the roster that they have, GODSENT have a lot of players that are almost renowned for, okay, let's set this guy up. Like Stico was, I sort of made a joke in the past about him almost being like Dobby because he would do what Oscar needed. Like he'd be like, I'll give Oscar my gun. Like Oscar needs the gun more than me.
Yeah.
Like that was always the way that he played, a very selfless player. And I think that when you then have someone like Madden, for example, who's very aggressive and always going to be taking peeks, if you have someone like Stico on your team, he's going to play better.
Definitely, they complement each other well in that sense, and I think that's a very important thing to notice, that the structure of these lineups and the way they're being put together. These days it matters because you need players who can fulfill different roles and can do different stuff. Once again, we see GODSENT being very aggressive towards this long area. They're making sure to take the control. We've only played 12 seconds of the round, and they already control half of the map. That is again a good thing for GODSENT here. Now the response is for Crazy to take catwalk control, and that's exactly what you want to do. If you can't hold on too long, you take catwalk control. There's just one problem, and that's this guy once again out middle. He's just seeking these duels, and he's not chilling down whatsoever. He's here by himself. There's no trade fact potential, but we've seen him pull it off before. Question is, can he do it again?
In the meantime, again, they've managed to force Otto. This time he actually takes the more aggressive peek past the Molotov. Esperanto is going to be there to trade, and looking for more catches, ships with a nade out. But again, the trade's back from Crazy. Even still, though, they've lost control of the A site, so the Ts are going to be able to get the bomb down. And in the after-plant position, there's not much utility for the CT side.
Definitely not. And now we see another retake scenario. Flashes being thrown towards Catwalk. Sticker is in a very upfront position. Question is, if they wait for this smoke, which they should, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He needs to at least get one kill for them to make this work. Emmy putting in a smoke so they get cover from long. Now let's see if Sticker can do it. Almost gets the first one, misses out. Now it's a 3 versus 2 scenario. There's still grenades on Michael Lille. I think it's going to be tough. Crystal getting another frag, and now he has this Molotov to cover him. There's no way Crazy is going to retake this bomb site. They have to fall back, save the guns. Esperanto, though, he wants some kills. Let's see if he gets them.
Oh, it's a bit messy, but he does get away with it. I think the bomb might even take him down, so it definitely doesn't seem worth it in the end.
Not at all. I no idea why he would do that. I think that's maybe more a frustration play than anything else. He was a little bit frustrated. He wasn't able to make this retake work, or wasn't able to help this guy on Catwalk in the beginning of the round, and then he may as well thought that he would get at least one kill out of it and feel good about that. Maybe not the smartest decision Esperanto has ever made, because had he saved that gun, he would have had it now, and we know how dangerous he can be on his own.
We do know how dangerous he can be with a deagle, though. Nade, not a bad start. At least going to be whittling some of these players down, and Letney actually going to be keeping the AWP for this round, not giving it over to Otto, who you'd normally expect to have it. I think the same could be said. You could even give it to SB if you just wanted a loose cannon sort of round, but I guess it's finders keepers.
Yeah, I think that's fair, isn't it? You never found money on the ground and you thought to yourself, that's mine?
Yeah. And in other people's pockets, that's my...
Seems pretty normal to me, but yeah. You do you, Tom. You do you. Whatever floats your boat. Question is, what's going to float Crazy's boat in this situation? I'm having a hard time seeing how they can deal with this. Once again, losing long control. That seems to be the theme of this game so far, that GODSENT really do appreciate having control over the long area, and then from that, they rotate around, make sure to take Catwalk, potentially even fall back towards the B bomb side as well. At the very least, they're making Crazy second guess every single move, and it doesn't seem like Crazy really found a way to deal with that. I want to see some more aggressiveness. I want to see somebody, step it up and put a span into that. Question is, can Otto do it? He spotted the first one. Oh, he's missing a great opportunity here with the deagle. He gets away though. Did a lot of damage. Now GODSENT is down to 35 seconds. They're getting a little bit pressured on time. Question is it going to be towards B or is it going to be towards A?
looking like they're going for the play through the nade. Actually bouncing just past an Esperanto. Going to be able to get one through the edge of the smoke. Two players so desperately low. But again, they've lost control. And I don't think there's much they can do. Otto has to try and fall in from behind, and he does get a pick. And actually, that's one of the only healthy players. The other remaining with an AWP. Otto gets the second as well. And they do get the bomb down with seconds to spare. But this has to now be a play for CR4ZY. The problem is, again, there's no kit available to them. Utility is gone completely, but it doesn't seem to matter. The jumping shot comes out, and Makalele left into a 1 versus 3 clutch. If they get onto the site, they just have to start this defusal and not able to connect the initial. I feel like this is going to slip away from him. He needs to start getting these shots off. At least one goes down, but Ships is going to return with the AWP. And CR4ZY, well, from absolutely nothing, they win a 4th round.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt GODSENT right there. That was well played by CR4ZY. They held them off for a long, long time. They did a lot of damage with the grenade. That utility really came into play, especially that nade on Catwalk that softened up pretty much all of the players from GODSENT. And now we see Otto here with the great pick. That one right there against Madden. That was the game-winning moment, or the round-winning moment for CR4ZY. I think it's a game right now that is moving a lot back and forth, right? You can clearly see what the idea from GODSENT is. They want long control. They want to play their own pace, so to speak. They don't want to rush it. They don't want to go fast towards B, fast towards Catwalk, fast out middle. And it may be time to change that up now. It may be time to leave long what it is, or at least fake that you're taking long control, make them second guess, and then go fast in towards B, go fast out middle, do a fast B split, do something to change up the pace to make CR4ZY second guess even more. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit too static, and that's where CR4ZY gets a chance to actually figure out how to deal with the long control.
Yeah, I think especially with how good they've been at battling for a lot of the initial map control, like they've done well at getting entries into the B site the times they've attempted. Okay, maybe not in the pistol round, but that was with no utility available. And then at short control, other than the last round, they've won it every single time that they've attempted to take it. So I definitely think that there's a lot of opportunities in the map at the moment. The only problem is, this is the first time we've actually seen CR4ZY with what I would call a full buy. Like, all the utility available, they've got their double orbs available to them, and even the aggression from Otto as well, finally taking long away from the Ts. And that's where I think GODSENT could struggle a little bit more, when they don't have everything available to them.
Yeah, it has seemed a little bit one-dimensional with the long control. Question is if they're good enough to deal with not having it. We see a flash coming down middle. Doesn't work out for Esperanto, and this is where it becomes a little bit rough. They're now being split up in a 2-2 position. 2 guys towards B bomb side, 2 guys towards A. Ships gets Makalele. Now Madden, can he turn it around? Cannot. Letney's in a great position here. And it seems like GODSENT is just falling down one by one. Sen left in a 1 versus 3 scenario with an SG though. Not gonna be enough against Ships. That was a great play by CR4ZY. They had a read on this one. They basically anticipated that now, as I said before, this would be the time where GODSENT may think to themselves, right, we're gonna change up the pace. We're gonna leave long away. We're gonna try something else. Seemed like CR4ZY anticipated that. They had that read clearly, and they put 3 guys towards middle / B, and that helped them out greatly. A little bit lucky with that one, but you know, it all counts, Tom.
It's a small tunnel, you know.
Yeah.
You can predict those positions.
Yeah.
It's not a lucky skill.
So you're saying you would have done the same?
Oh no, I would have missed. Like,
I think you would have hit it.
Guaranteed.
I think Harry would have missed it. I think you would have hit it.
Okay. I appreciate the confidence based on absolutely zero information whatsoever.
Well, that's what I do.
Okay. Well, considering how much money there was a few rounds ago for GODSENT, this has dwindled quickly. Crystal only going to be onto a pistol. No surprise that he's the man taking the hit, and Makalele still going to be given the orb. Almost, again, for Sicko. I'm actually quite surprised that Sicko only has 4 kills, because I'm pretty sure every single kill he's had has been like him turning around and one-showing someone with an SG, or like an impactful entry into a site. Like, I feel like he's done a lot more than what actually is said on the scoreboard.
I would definitely agree with that sentiment. That's sometimes how it goes, right? That score doesn't always reflect how great you've been playing. Same goes on for Esperanto. He's sitting at 6 kills right now. I would say he's been relatively lackluster so far in this game. He hasn't really had the impact that I expect from a player like Esperanto. Now that's going to be a great nade, potentially. No, they actually move away from Catwalk. That was well played by GODSENT. They anticipated that. Now Esperanto, he's being aggressive, and that's exactly what I want. That's what I seek. Now, doesn't work out. Makalele takes him down. Now it's all up to Otto to defend this A-bomb side. Better with Emmy though. Can he do it?
Got support. This is the second shot. That could have been the one that handed them the round. Rotation's already coming in from Letney, and this will be an important kill if they can get it, but not quite there. And Zen removes him from action instead, and now they're just hoping for a few pot shots, because getting back into this site is going to be incredibly difficult. Double AWP setup, trying to retake when already short control has been gained as well. It'll more basically be off if GODSENT make mistakes. If they peek in and they're doing it anyway and still winning all of the battles.
Yeah, that's a little bit annoying to me. I think that's a very bad decision by CR4ZY. I think they should have done everything in their power to save these guns. They finally got control over the game. They're leading 5-4. They have the money control as well. Can you save 3 guns here? You go into the next round with a full buy once again. Now Otto is most likely going to go down here. Yes, he is. Styko gets him down. Another, let's call it an impact frag from Styko. It's very important to get that AWP out of CR4ZY's hands. I could imagine Neil sitting there and saying right now, what on earth are you guys doing? Why are you not saving? You know, that's a very, let's put it blunt, that's a very dumb decision. It would have been a smart decision just to save it, but that's the charm, I guess, with CR4ZY sometimes. It's not the most streamlined Counter-Strike team in the world. It has a lot of individual skills, a lot of unpredictability, and sometimes it works, sometimes it's just really, really stupid. But in this case, I think there was a clear-cut scenario of CR4ZY just not, you know, using the brain.
It also seems that at the moment, at least, GODSENT have Esperanto's number. Like, I can't think of a round where he's been able to have the level of impact that he normally would. Like, and it's not like he's doing anything different. Like, he's playing confidently, he's getting into these aggressive positions, but every time there's someone waiting to go, no, not today.
Exactly, and that's, you know, that's a compliment to GODSENT in the sense that they're making sure that they stay together. You've seen plenty of times where Esperanto got a kill, but he was instantly trade fragged. So in that sense, you know, you make sure that you eliminate the great asset you have in CR4ZY, and that's Esperanto. So if you always stick 2x2 and you don't miss your shots with your GODSENT, then you make sure that he only gets away with 1 kill, not a gun, not an SG, and in that way you eliminate him as a threat. So I think they're doing good with that. And once again, you know, you can see the pace from GODSENT. They're taking the time. They're making sure to feel out the map, making sure to walk out, not really being surprised by any, you know, stack scenarios or anything like that. So GODSENT right now, they're showcasing why they're a great team, right, with a big T. Whereas for CR4ZY, they do rely on the individuals to step up now. It's gonna be up to Letme now to see if he can defend this B bomb site with an M4. Do have backup from his teammate.
Yeah, this crossfire was deadly last time, but this time they've already managed that initial frag, and well, in fact they get both, and I think this time it does have to be a say. Esperanto's going to try and go through the smoke. I think he's lost the plot. That was insane.
Yeah, why not? He had a deagle, right? Only an armor, so he may as well win for it, and that's Esperanto in a nutshell. You know, he makes some of those plays that you'd never ever do yourself, and sometimes he makes them work, and that's what makes him such a great player and such a fun player to watch sometimes. In this scenario, obviously, didn't work out, but that's to be expected. I think GODSENT, again, they regain control over the game. If you think about it, right, CR4ZY went up 3-0. Apart from that, they won an anti-eco they shouldn't have won, and then one buy round. Otherwise, it's been GODSENT all over. There hasn't been a lot of close clutch rounds. It hasn't been really, you know, tense situations where it's down to a 1-on-1 or down to a 2-on-2. It seems like GODSENT right now are in pretty much full control of how they're approaching the game. The score is 6-5 right now for GODSENT, not really reflecting of how I feel the game is being played right now. I think GODSENT is playing much better than CR4ZY are, but that also, you know, tells the story about CR4ZY that if you can steal 1 or 2 rounds on the CT side with, you know, a low buy like you're seeing on your screen right here, then that may be enough for them to go into that terrorist side.
And it definitely seems that GODSENT are very well prepared for any of the antics that are going to be coming in from CR4ZY players, like these sort of, like you said, sort of silly plays that they can get away with versus a lot of teams. I will always remember the team Imperial struggled to beat most was actually, I think it was the heroic roster that was run by Snappy when like Yugi had like gone onto the bench, and it was like firepower wise you looked at that team and went, oh, they'll never beat Imperial.
Sure.
And then they beat them 9 times in a row. And I think the first time they lost to them was in the Copenhagen Games final.
That's fun.
It was literally just that Imperial could beat anyone online except them, because it just seemed like Snappy just went, like for example Mirage, like they would beat everyone on Mirage. So what he did was, he just didn't take any fights. They all sat within the sites, waited for an execution, and that's where CR4ZY don't actually have too much in their locker. It's normally based off those individuals getting picked, so if you stop that, that's round over.
That's how important a game plan can be sometimes. Now we see CR4ZY, they have a game plan to deal with this. A boost down in CT spawn is not working out, and he has to fall back. Once again, GODSENT got full control over the A-bomb side, using the utility very, very wise, making sure not to take any unnecessary duels. Bomb hasn't gone down yet. That's a little bit of a problem. Time is slowly but surely running down, and now CR4ZY has time to regroup. See if they can get the kill ships being dangerous with the Max 7 now. Michael Lille is in a very important position here. Crystal is also being pressured. He goes down. Michael Lille gets a kill with the AWP. It's all over the place right now. But it seems like GODSENT got it more or less under control. Stuka with another very important kill. Glad you mentioned it out. He is a guy who gets a lot of impact frags. Esperanto, 1 versus 2 without a kit. This time around, he's playing it smart. He's saving.
I genuinely don't understand how Ships keeps getting kills with the Mag 7. Like that
Just keep jumping and keep shooting. Eventually you'll hit.
But it's like even when before he gets traded out by Makalele, he actually runs into a peak and still gets the kill. Like he got 2 kills in that round. And well, they're now kind of in a weird position. I think that extra save coming out from Esperanto actually makes the difference for them getting a buy into this round because Letni doesn't have enough cash. SG, well, it'll either be dropped over to someone else, and then I would personally give it to Ships, and then Ships give a rifle over to Letni, because Ships is just filthy with the SG, and that's actually what they're going to do.
And that's a bit of a problem, right? Because it is, when you look at it right now from the crazy point of view, it's a decent buy, it's a strong buy, but it's not a full buy, right? That you don't have all the grenades.
I think they've had one.
That's the problem, right? That's the point. Now, as we see Ships take down Stuku, instantly trade frag it once again. I think GODSENT is doing a very good job, you know, staying together in that sense. But the problem for Crazy is they haven't had more than 1 round with full utility, full assets, full AWPs and whatever they want to. So they're kind of outplaying themselves a little bit by the economy right here. Now another quick A hit. We haven't seen that from GODSENT. They're picking up the pace a little bit here. Bump. It's going to go down very fast. Lepney is going to get a kill here, and it puts them in a 4 versus 3 retake. This could be the round for Crazy. This is what they need. Another round on the board.
Esperanto just lurking around. They're a lot closer this time, and Crystal does some damage again. While holding on to the sides, GODSENT just seemed to be invincible, not losing any players while holding on in a 4 versus 3. Barely any damage even done. In fact, it's Crystal just fragging past Crazy, which is not something I thought I'd be saying today. And while Otto, he's got no choice. He's got to try and save again, and they're already on the hunt. They know exactly where he's going. They know where he wants to save, and Madden's there ready and waiting.
And I think that right there, and this goes out to all the Counter-Strike nerds like myself, that right there is a problem why you don't have full utility. If you want to play, or if you're playing against a team as they are right now, against GODSENT, who likes to take A control, who likes to get the bomb down, and you're being forced into a retake scenario, you need Molotovs, you need flashes, you need smokes in order to pressure the terrorists out of their positions. You got to make them feel uncomfortable in that retake scenario. You can't do that when you don't have the utility to basically pressure them. So if you're a Counter-Strike nerd out there and you understand that, then make sure always to value that utility. Now, we see a fast speed push here. That's going to work like a charm, isn't it? Sen gets a double kill, Stuka to assist, and there we go. Round effectively over.
Yeah, I'm loving it from GODSENT. I think they're playing very well, and I do agree. I think Crazy are limiting themselves quite a bit. It's actually interesting that one of the pistol rounds that they managed to win, or one of the only like non-pistol follow-up rounds from the beginning that they managed to win, was by delaying and using smokes and having those grenades that they threw in to actually do a lot of the damage. And it's funny that that hasn't transferred into their buy rounds, where they've gone, okay, let's just invest into the rifles and screw the utility.
And that's, you know, there's a shy sickness sometimes when you know you're a great individual player, you know you have the ability to turn around a specific round with a deagle or with an SD for that matter. You don't really tend to value the utility that much, and yes, you're not necessarily hurting yourself in the sense that you lack utility, but you're hurting your team, right? Because your teammates need that utility in order to be facilitated. You need Esperanto to kill a guy that is out of position because he's being Molotov. You need a guy to be smoked off so Esperanto can walk up ramp and kill a guy in the back. You need that utility to facilitate each other. So just because you're a great individual player, as we watch, this is just, you know, this is cool, isn't it? This is a little bit cool. I love it though. Esperanto doesn't get banned though. But there we go. B bumps that once again, yeah.
Yeah, solely off of that kill. Like nobody actually managed to get past, and Ships just running to the side with an AWP, trying his best to be a hero. I haven't seen the Tech 9 like this in a while, just running and gunning alongside Makalele, and also a nice shot, but he can't really do anything here. He's trying to just peek into such a small angle. And well, again, we're going to see the same scenario. The B site under the control of GODSENT. This time, well, we can't really say anything about them trying to retake. It's the last round of the half, of course. They're going to have to try and give this a go. No point saving from here, but realistically, Esperanto now just waiting for his teammate to get into position. Finally, the utility for GODSENT is about to run out, but the bomb halfway ticked, and they've been so good in these positions. They've been so good at just holding onto these rounds, even forcing players out. Crystal still gets the kill, and Esperanto waiting patiently for the peak, but he has no time. Crystal gonna 1D him out, and wow, he's currently top of the board, 16-9, while Esperanto sits 8-12. The master looking to lead his youngster, and wow, we've got a break coming up to see if CR4ZY will be able to turn this around. After what was a fairly dominant, well, actually almost completely dominant first half coming out from GODSENT, we now switch sides, the T side for CR4ZY. Pimp, do you think they can turn this back?
I think there is a chance, but they need this pistol round, and they need to assert some dominance on this map. They need to dictate the pace, and they need to get Esperanto going. We need to see some of that star heroic from him if they want to pull this one back. Otherwise, I think GODSENT have looked like a team that right now is playing like a team. And as you said before, it is tough to beat a well-structured team in Counter-Strike if they are actually playing well. Which I think GODSENT is, so that's a compliment.
Yeah,
I don't give many of those.
Crystal is top fragging.
Yeah, always nice to see.
Wouldn't have called that coming into the match, but hey, that would be one hell of a way to come back against, as I said, the kid who basically got you removed and then top frag against him in a match. So either way, pistol round, well, it's definitely going towards the A side. Long control being challenged for. They do make their way on towards Sticker. I said he's had high impact kills, but it's actually Madden alongside him who's going to be opening things up. However, the T's comfortably trading things back. Smoke going down for the cross, but there is a big gap, giving Crystal some space at least. The bomb already crossed, of course. And while now the CT's left into a retake scenario, no kit available to them, no utility either, so it's going to be tough and just come down to raw fights. Nice flashbang from Otto to set Esperanto up for a kill, and while left only onto Makalele, there's nothing he can do.
No, I really did like, though, GODSENT initially playing with this pistol round. You saw Crystal playing down in CT spawn with a flash and a smoke, and he actually tried to flash for Stucco, flashing behind him, but the flash didn't really pan out. It was maybe thrown a little bit too high, a little bit too long, so the guys on Catwalk wasn't really affected by it. Had that flash, been thrown with perfection, I think Stucco would have had 2 free kills, so that's maybe something they can go back and look at when they look at this game, that's one single flash could have changed the outcome of that pistol round. The idea was there, the execution, though, from GODSENT lacked a little bit, but that's always nice to see that at least you're going into a round with a clear idea of how you want to approach it if you're getting faced towards A, which they did. So, yeah, didn't work out for GODSENT. CR4ZY, they booked themselves a ticket into this game again.
Yeah, I'm interested by the purchase into this round from GODSENT, because it looks almost like a buy where you're about to buy into the next with a sort of shoddy buy. Makalele's gone solo because he can't afford the orb, so screw it, probably buy another scout. But then even the other players are still a little bit dicey. It may not matter, though, because Madden's just managed to get 2 kills with a Deagle, make things incredibly costly for the other side. Sure, they've managed to retrieve the rifles, but this scout is still going, and they're just pushing into it. They're giving Makalele the chance, and with already a full rotation in, this is looking dicey.
Having a hard time understanding why that's the call from CR4ZY. They had plenty of time to fall back. Now we see them moving towards this A-bomb side, led by Esperanto. He needs to hit this shot. He's getting tagged down by Makalele once again. Can't really connect the shots with the AK. This is a very dangerous position for him to be in. He goes down to Stucco, ships all of them with 3 kills, though. With the Galil, Letny takes him down. That's a bit of a problem. We now have a one-on-one situation. Letny against 10. He has a Mac 10, and he's going to push up fast. He's not going to give Letny any time to rethink his position here. It's going to be all to the duel. He's down to 17 HP, though. That's going to be tough for him to win this one out, and he cannot do it. Letny misses every single bullet, and somehow GODSENT managed to steal this round away. Oh my god. Oh my god. I am even looking at Hugo right now. Hands in his head saying, oh my god.
He looks like he's about to rip his hair out and end up looking like me. Like that was ridiculous. Not only, like, Letny's got the double blunder. He killed the teammate who literally got them back into the round with a triple kill. And then he just can't hit a single shot onto Zen, who wins a long-range battle with a Mac 10.
I hope the communication right now on TeamSpeak is something along the lines of Letny saying, guys, beers on me tonight, because that's gonna sting for a while, especially if they're gonna end up losing this game. Now, we see them buy into this round, right? They're not gonna let gas off the foot pedal, or foot pedal off the gas, or however you say that word in English. It's it's dangerous now for Crazy, right? If they lose this one, they're gonna move into next round with an eco. It could potentially be 13-6, and that's in the area where I would say GODSENT is too structured of a team where they will let this one slip away.
Just foot off the gas pedal.
Well, there we go.
You've managed to mix it up.
Something with a gas pedal and a foot, and you know what? English is a lovely, lovely, lovely. I love it.
I like the idea of gas off the foot pedal. You're not going to like blow on it anymore.
Sometimes you got to invent your own words.
Yeah, you know.
Just own it, you know.
Create your own saying. Someone has to do it, right?
Exactly.
They all started somewhere.
Exactly.
I don't think that one's going to catch on, but, you know.
Well, that's...
Maybe I'm one of the haters who'll be proved wrong in a year or two's time.
Surely you are a hater. So. You may as well just be quiet now. We're about to watch Sen getting into a lot of trouble here. He's going to be caught off guard a little bit. He's caught behind the box here, and he has to take the duels now. The question is how many kills he's going to get away with. 2 kills or 3 kills combined with Crystal, Matt, and Ledney, and they're going to be shut down completely. Crazy had no business winning this round, and this is a problem. They're now moving into this round with not a lot of money on their hands. They have to go for a full eco. I wouldn't even buy a P250 if I were them. Going down 13-6 against GODSENT, who right now are really showing why they are a great team. I think we're watching Adam Michael Little right now with 6 kills. He hasn't really had an impact in this game. Not needed, right? The team and the structure of GODSENT right now is enough to just deal with Crazy's individuals, who, by the way, are not playing Crazy.
No, but even though, yeah, Makalele's not had a great game, think about the second round that they just managed to steal away. Like, he hits, what, 3 tags with the scout and sets up the rest of the team. So, yeah, sure, for the rest of the match, you can go, maybe there's not been massive impact, but that round alone is enough to give them basically the momentum straight back into their control. And, wow, the force fly in the last round was smashed into the ground. So much money going to be starting to build up for GODSENT on their CT side. Something that was never there for Crazy. They never got the finances rolling. And while they're trying to get that bomb down, but I highly doubt anything's going to be allowed. In fact, Madden just playing it safe, not wanting to give away the weapon to the pistols, and even ends up getting both kills in the end. Joins his in-game leader as top fragger in the server, and wow, GODSENT 13-6 up.
This is it. This is it. This is do or die for Crazy. If they do not win this round, I am willing to say that this is going to be over. This is going to be GG, and this is going to be GODSENT running away with it. On home soil here in Sweden, I think they have played a great game so far, and I think Crazy haven't really done a lot for themselves in order to facilitate them having a great game. I think the economy management on the CT side was a little bit lackluster. I think the decision-making from some of the rounds where they should have saved in order to save some of those guns moving into the following rounds has been a little bit lackluster. It seems like they're just quite off right now, and we haven't seen a single player, Esperanto ships or Emmy for that matter, you know, step up to the occasion and win some of those rounds single-handedly as we normally see from the Crazy guys. So every single thing that is missing from Crazy right now, when you add that up together, it makes sense that they're trailing 13-6.
Again, this man has got so many opening picks. Like, taking those battles into middle, he's been dominating it on both sides of the map as well. It's going to be Emmy who was fishing for something a little bit early on. They actually have a decent setup on B as well, with a couple of players ready and waiting. Counter utility being expended, and actually a sort of wide peek out from Crystal. That gives them an opportunity. Zen needs a kill and gets absolutely nothing. And from what was a round that was looking pretty good, at least initially for GODSENT, it's gone to now pretty much a save.
Sure has, and I think this is going to be a great example of what's the difference between GODSENT and Crazy. There's no doubt that GODSENT just instantly choose to save this round. There's no extra duels taken, no bad decisions being made right here from GODSENT, and it may sound silly to say, and people may think to themselves right now sitting and watching this game, Jacob, why are you saying that? Of course they're not going for it. It would be stupid to do, but you did see Crazy do it over and over again. You do see some of these professional players sometimes, believing so much in themselves, which can be a good thing, obviously, but sometimes the belief gets to the head and you make some unrational decisions, and you don't see that from GODSENT right here, and I think that deserves a compliment. That even when you're losing, you're optimizing your position, right? You're getting the best out of you losing the round, which is saving 3 guns here, an AWP and 2 orcs. That's going to be very, very vital moving into next round, because it's going to be another round where Crazy will have to fight with a claws in order to win it.
The other thing that's worth mentioning, I think, especially now, with Crazy being still fairly far down, Group B, the loser of the first match was Heroic.
Yes.
So the elimination match will either be Heroic versus GODSENT or Heroic versus Crazy.
Yeah.
The first team out of the tournament.
I think the sentiment of that is it sucks to suck. So
Don't lose the opening match.
Yeah.
Well, it's the long road back for CR4ZY if they don't want to be facing off against the champions in Atlanta. So.
yeah. It'll be a fun game though, but it's definitely not an easy game by any means. Now we do see CR4ZY here. They haven't really done anything, right? They have half long control. They haven't had it fully. There's a guy right now at car. He has, you know, somehow control over it. He's putting down a Molotov towards Pit Otto here. So he's making GODSENT aware that he's at long, but he doesn't have control over long, so it doesn't really mean anything, whereas the rest of the CR4ZY team is grouping up towards B. Now, we have seen that's been the one weakness from GODSENT so far in this CT defense, that the B defense hasn't been great. Now, Crystal, though, in a great position. He has a smoke, he has an AWP. He should be able to defend this one pretty well if he can connect the shots. He cannot, though. That's a problem. Gets the first one. He's being Molotov out now. Question is, do they have the patience to wait? They don't. He gets a second kill, which you'd say that's enough. That's well played by Crystal, but a 4 versus 3 retake scenario on the B bomb side, that can be very, very rough for the guys who got it.
They're not going to wait, though. This is not even an attempted retake. The bomb's yet to go down. Siko's already managed to find out one, and that battle was so important. Emmy now left with 27 HP and a 1 versus 3. He manages the first, spots out the second kill, but surely Siko's going to get it once again, and, well, it can't be a retake if they don't let them have the site.
No, not at all. And I was expecting a retake, right? They had a lot of utility. They could group up, make sure to Molotov out certain vital positions, and then go for a retake. But I actually like the fact that they're just being hyper-aggressive, taking every single duel they could. You could argue that Ships should definitely have won that duel towards the double doors. Probably would have turned around, and we would have been sitting here and saying, GODSENT, why didn't you do a retake? But if it works, it works. And right now, you can see they're playing with a lot of confidence. Mikey Lille taking down Otto, and this is about to be it. A 5 versus 4 situation. You're down 14-7. You don't have control over a lot of the map now. Esperanto, he's going to miss the guy pushed up middle. He's going to get a lot of information. That Stuko Crystal gets another kill towards the B bomb side, and this is falling completely apart from CR4ZY. They have no control over the map. They have no control over the match. And by the looks of it, we're going to have a quick one, Tom.
Yeah, I'm surprised. We've had so many close matches throughout the day so far, and this is looking like it may be the most dominant of the lot. And that's even considering Furious match at the beginning of the day. Like, that was a 16-10. I don't even know if CR4ZY will get to 10 with how things are going so far. Like, this round alone was ridiculous. Makalele being able to peek back through the double doors and finding that opening pick. Then you had, obviously, the push from Stiko, aggression into mid, not only getting one, but a second kill as well. And, well, Esperanto in a 1v5, I can safely say there's no one else I'd want in this 1v5, but I don't believe he's going to win.
I can think of one player I'd want. It's called Sipnix.
I meant in this server.
Oh, okay. Well.
I feel like, yeah, it probably takes it.
On the server, sure, I'd go with Esperanto.
He just got full banked as well.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Crystal is having a great game, isn't he? Sitting at 23 frags right now, and hasn't really made a mistake. Has sacrificed for the team. We saw him in the pistol round. He was the one buying nades. He was the one trying to be the support player. So it's not like he's trying to be, you know, the in-game leader who sets himself up all the time, like a Nico type of in-game leader, which I, by the way, have no problem with because Nico can pull it off because he is one of the best players in the world. But Crystal knows his, you know, he knows his strengths, and still he's managing to put up a lot of numbers right now, and that deserves a lot of credit now. This is the aggressive that we've been seeing the entire game from GODSENT. Madden pushing in towards lower dark, only gets away with 1 kill, but puts down Ships to 3 HP. Not necessarily worth it, but again, it just sends a message to CR4ZY that you have no business in this game. Let's just finish it straight away.
Yeah, especially that Otto does manage to get a gun, but they've been, again, so good with their timings. This is just looking over already. At least Otto manages a kill back, but even he's tagged down ridiculously low, and they know it as well. It's left onto Ships in a 1 versus 3 with 3 HP. This will probably be the most, this would be the most impressive player of the tournament so far. And I can't say I'm a believer whatsoever. Crystal's going to put him down. It's going to be a 16-7 scoreline, and that's considering it was both pistols?
Yeah.
It was both pistols went the way of CR4ZY, so yeah, a very underwhelming performance in their first match. It means we're now going to get the Danes facing off against CR4ZY in an elimination match tomorrow. That is absolutely ridiculous.
It seems to be the story of the DreamHack Opens, right? That Heroic is going to face They're going to face Crazy at some point. And there's been a lot of great series between the two teams, but I will say that if Crazy do not step it up for tomorrow, then I think Heroic is going to run all over them. Today was a very lackluster performance. You didn't have any of the players stepping up to the individual capacity they have, right? We didn't see Esperanto have any impact. We didn't see Ships hitting the shots he normally hits. So it was lackluster from Crazy, and it was very well played by GODSENT.
Yeah, and a massive surprise, but at the same time, you know, they play this map a lot and they have looked good in the coming times. Either way, we've heard from one analyst, we've got a couple more alongside Mr. Gervin, who's going to be breaking this one down.
They were all wrong.
Yeah. all right. But he casts one map.
Jacob taking every opportunity to point it out.
Fire. Yeah, we are wrong. And you know what? Sometimes it's good to be wrong because it lets you realize your ways are improper ways of predicting that one in the opposite direction. Unfortunately, yeah, we were wrong, but so be it, because now we've learned one thing, and that is that GODSENT have come to play. And that at the same time, maybe the showing of Crazy in Atlanta is a, you know, shaky legs of some deeper problems.
Yeah, I mean, GODSENT came to play, but Crazy, I'm not quite sure what they came here to do.
Yeah.
Maybe visiting Jönköping. It's a nice city though. There's a lake and all that you can enjoy. There's a good kebab out there. Maybe that's the reason why. But definitely not to play Counter-Strike. No, joke aside, that was a very, very shaky first map from Crazy. I mean, so many rounds, it felt like they had them dead to rights. They had them cornered. They knew what was going to happen. 35 seconds left, and then someone is impatient. Someone is missing a shot. There's fragility when there should be solidity. It wasn't the Crazy I was hoping for, but on the other hand, what a performance from GODSENT.
It wasn't a Crazy I was hoping for either, and I gotta say it's a little bit confusing whether GODSENT was here to perform or whether it was Crazy just underperforming at such a low level that it looked so easy for GODSENT. Because if you look back on the Crazy side of things, the story of the first half was missed shots, whiffs, and missed shots over and over again from each individual.
And whiffs.
Yeah, and it was very surprising to see, because when we think about Crazy, we think about the individuals stepping up. A consistent factor that we now consider with Crazy is Esperanto, his A1S, his headshot percentage, his prowess in the server. We didn't see any of that.
No, and one thing that shocked me a little bit too was some of the individuals we had stepping up on the side of GODSENT. I didn't anticipate to see Madden up there, and I didn't expect to see this guy up there either. Crystal, are you standing by with us?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hey man, congrats. Congrats on the win, and damn hell of an individual performance too. That must feel good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, you know, I didn't get to catch you guys at your most recent event where you flew through not dropping a map. I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of questioned this matchup. I thought Crazy would take you guys down to start the day, but I'm happily wrong, because that was a really awesome showing.
Yeah, I just have a question, Kevin. Would you say you are a LAN team? Because I've been watching you playing on internet. I've been watching you play on LAN, and I see a difference for the good. So I don't know if you feel that way too.
There's definitely a difference to LAN compared to home, because on LAN we're just more focused. When we play matches on the internet, there's sometimes like rounds that can tilt someone or that influences the game in a bad way. But on LAN we always give our everything. So yeah, I agree with you. I think we are probably better on LAN than online.
Would you say that you guys as a team have been just on an upward trajectory from the start, or have you had to go in the server and really grind out all your mistakes and protocols, putting in a lot of work, or has this been a honeymoon story from the start?
No, it's definitely that we put in a lot of work. There were a lot of things to fix, especially since we're 5 people from 5 different countries. We had to figure out how to make everyone comfortable in the team, how to put him into a good position where he feels comfortable, how he has impact. Some players had to do different roles that they are not used to, so there's been a lot of work going into this, and yeah, it paid off.
Yeah, I just had a question about Maiden, right? Or Madden, I'm not sure how to pronounce. Some of us are not familiar with him. How would you describe him, this new player? Just in a few words, how you feel about him?
Really aggressive, he stays calm, and he has a lot of ideas.
All right, cool.
That's good to have. Now, you guys are going to be playing SJ later today for a spot to get into the playoffs. I feel like it's safe to assume you didn't expect to be playing SJ.
No, we didn't.
Right.
But they played really well. We watched it a little bit, and that surprised a lot, I think.
Does that worry you guys a bit, seeing as like it's a kind of unknown quantity and it's still a best of one?
I don't know. We will see. I think they also have maybe a mind game going on, because we have a Finnish player too, and they know each other pretty well. So we will just prepare ourselves, and we will see.
All right. So I'm going to let you do that. Go prepare. Again, congratulations on the win, and best of luck later, man.
Thank you.
So, guys,
Cool guy.
another
I appreciate
cool, collected, professional-mannered
When do we get
in-game
the trash
leader.
goal? When do we get the trash goal?
Yeah.
They were noobs. It was
Right.
easy.
Yeah, well, we would have needed Crazy to win so we could talk to
Right.
Neil M. But I think he's off licking his wounds with the other boys there because that was a tough pill to swallow for them.
Yeah, listen, we smack talk a little bit crazy, and I believe that was rightfully so. But let's focus on what GODSENT did right. I think there are two main aspects. First of all, the utility usage at the beginning of the round to clear angles and to get first frag. How many times did they use a Molotov followed by a flash to just clear someone? It would be Letney on the B side, that would be the short position getting cleared. And the other thing is the way they were covering the bomb on the A side. They won at least 2 or 3 bomb planted clutch in situations where they didn't even have the advantage. They were down in man, maybe 3 versus 4, 2 versus 3, but they knew how to play it. And I think they had a great understanding of the clutch, right? You could see Zen realizing, wait a minute, we are a man down. I need to do something. He would jump on the ledge, get the kill on the CT spawn, go back again. Once it's back to 3v3, then they play it safe. They had a great understanding of that, and that was really well and impressive to see.
It was impressive, and I gotta say, on their T side, I appreciated the pace that they were offering. They were dictating the rotations, they were going to A, consistently utilizing their long A spawn, but then switching it up and going to B. They kept Crazy guessing, they kept Crazy going back and forth, and they ended up dictating everything.
Yeah, so just a nice, well-packaged Dust2 coming out of GODSENT. If you had to rate it out of 10, what do you give them for that map?
Ooh, that is complicated. I'd say it's a 7.5 because I believe the opposition wasn't really here.
Sure.
But sure, interesting facts that they did.
That's a tough one.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I just didn't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't believe that
trying
we
things
saw
here. I
a
don't know
good
what I'm
Crazy.
doing.
I don't believe we saw.
That would be an 8 for me.
Yeah.
I don't believe we saw a good Crazy showing up in the server, so it is hard to judge. I will give it. We didn't see anything special, you know. We didn't see a lot of flash kills or anything. Yeah, it was just a standard, well done Dust2 execution.
Sure.
A 6?
All right, so a 6 and an 8 and a 2 on 10 for the question itself, right?
That'd be the best.
All right, guys, we still got some more Counter-Strike coming your way. We move into the BO1 winners matches up next. That's going to be Furia versus Trick. 2 teams I'm super stoked to watch. 2 teams that are going to be excited to get themselves into the playoffs if they can, which means you're not going to want to go too far. You're watching DreamHack Open Winter coming at you hot from Jönköping. We'll be back after a short break.